to know. So once I engaged her, it was everything started moving smooth. But I botched the engagement so bad it's not even funny. It's embarrassing now. But I'm gonna
Oh gosh.
your boy botched.
Oh
I
my
botched
goodness.
that. It was a mess. I got the ring, and I wanted to. My whole plan was to engage her in front of mom.
Yes.
I really wanted to do that because mom been praying for over 17 years that, what's wrong? Lord, you're not answering my prayer. I want my daughter to get married. She's so faithful to the Lord. She's done all that you asked of her to do, Lord. And none of the prayers are answered. So once the prayer has been answered, I wanted to do it official, engage her in front of mom. And then we could go out and do something afterwards.
Yes.
Man, I came over in my pristine white suit.
But wait a minute, let's back up a little bit. So he was telling me before that day came that, we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do without me even knowing that it was going to turn into a proposal. And he says, well, you know what? I think we'll just stay in on this particular evening. Why don't we just do something in? He said, but let's make it a little nice, not too relaxed. So I said, well, okay, I'll cook. And so he insisted, put something nice on, you and mom, let's just make it nice and everything like that. So I thought to myself, okay, we're staying in. I'm going to cook something decent, and he wants us to dress up. I started to kind of put things together a little bit, and then he came over and he was decked out, and I'll take it from there, honey.
I was decked out. Your boy was sharp from top to bottom, and I came in and we were talking, getting ready for the, just getting ready for the engagement portion of it. I started sweating.
Yes.
I thought I left the ring at my home. I'm searching my pocket. I'm like, where's the ring? I went to the bathroom. I discovered the ring, and I came back. And I think I gave it away because I think she, because she know me for so long now that she understood that it wasn't. I was just a mess. That day I was
so
just
nervous.
I was so
sweating.
nervous and sweating, and I'm like. She knew something was up, and I just said, you know what, go ahead.
Before he went to the bathroom because he thought he left the ring or lost it, I noticed him kept feeling his jacket. You know how men have the inside pocket? He kept feeling his jacket. I'm like, what is going on with him? Then he excused himself and rushed to the bathroom, and then practically came back out as quickly as he went in. So. And when he came back out, I guess he said, I better do this because
it's
already messed up.
It's a mess.
He dropped on his knees right away.
Really, love?
And not for the proposal. I mean, that did come. But he dropped on his knees and started praying.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. But it was so different that it kind of like caught me off guard a little bit. So Mom and I, we bowed our heads, we started praying too. Here we are, the table set, the dinner is laid, everything is laid out on the table, and he's praying and everything. But you know what that said to me? I made fun of him for doing that.
Yes, she did.
And every time I think about it, it's so funny. But it spoke volumes to me because I already knew that he was a man of prayer. And for him to go into prayer before proposing to me, I just said, wow, how God truly answered my prayer, because that was one of the things on my list. I wanted a true man of prayer.
Yeah. So I engaged. She had on a big rock on her finger.
Yes.
And I was excited. So the weight that came off of me that day, I was like, thank you, Jesus, it's over. But I was excited. I felt at peace. It was after I finished praying, it was just like the peace of the Lord was just hovering over us. It was one of those evenings that you knew that the Lord was in it.
Yes.
You knew that this is not something by happenstance.
Yes.
This was really, really ordained by the Lord. It was just no doubt about it, and we felt it.
Yes, and I have to say, we shared this in our part 1. If you've been through divorce like we have, when you get another opportunity at marriage, you know whether or not this is the right person, because you've already been through a previous marriage, you've been through the ups and downs, you were younger, previously when you got married. Now you're older. For us, we were much older. You're talking a 17-year journey for me. I was in my mid-20s the first time I got married.
You married young,
we married older, and this is why we're saying it's never too late to find true love. It doesn't matter what your age is.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And don't put an age on love, because age on love is a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
Going to it with a healthy heart, going to it open, going to it understanding, you know what? I'm going to make the best out of this situation. And if red flags come up along the journey as you're taking data, so be it. So be it. That gives you an opportunity to say maybe he or she's not the right one. So don't get nervous when you're going to the data collection process and you're seeing that the people that you're coming in contact with are just a mess, and they're not the people that you want. Don't get discouraged. It's God's protection over your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't feel that, oh man, I'm doing this and I'm not getting the response is not what I want. It's God protecting you, because he just don't want you to run into something and then later regret it.
Absolutely. And I know what we did throughout our process. Up until this very day, we never tried to impress each other.
No.
Never. We established that from the time we entered the friendship, that we were going to be transparent. We were going to be true to ourselves. We were, I didn't try to look the part, so to speak, for him. Neither did he for me. Granted, we had our preferences on certain things, but we didn't try to cram it down each other's throat. We just went along in the journey and just kind of let everything unfold in due time, the way that God would have it to unfold.
And he did, and so we went to the engagement process, and then love started moving fast. She did. It was so. I'm telling you, man, she did so much of this stuff all on her own.
I think for me it's second nature, because I have strong administrative skills, and I'm very organized, and I don't like mess. So for me, it was so easy to begin to organize my wedding, because I knew what I want. When you get a certain age too, you know what you want. And so, thank God for my two sisters. I had a lot of help from them, but I also knew what I wanted, and I kind of took the lead in a lot of it.
And it saved. It was a cost saving for us for some of the things that ordinary that we would have done that she did herself. And it was wonderful. We really. The only thing that she was a little annoyed with me, because anybody that know me, I have a lot of friends.
Oh my gosh.
And
he kept inviting people after the deadline. I'm like, what are you doing?
And so I'm giving an invitation to everybody.
On the street.
Love have no idea.
Come to my wedding.
Love had no idea, and it was so. She said to me, she says, honey, you can't invite everyone. And again, it's the pandemic. We can't get that crowd. It's just. And I was like, you know what? This is my own. There's no other time for this. This is it. And I'm like, I'm making sure that the people who I love and care of and been there with my for me during my journey, that they're in attendance. And
honestly, for me, I wanted something small, and simple. I didn't want to make a big fuss about anything.
Because that's how you are, love.
Yes, I'm very I'm easy, but because he knew what I didn't have the first time around, he insisted on giving me a real nice wedding, and so that was all his doing, folks. And I thank God, because I know that I got a good man. I know. I saw the qualities in him, before we even started talking as friends, just in my own personal observation stage. So ladies, it's important to open your eyes, open your ears. If you are someone who desires to be married, it's never too late to find true love. But don't go around like you're on cloud nine. You have to do the work on yourself, and you've got to pay attention to your surroundings and to prospects that may be in your surroundings, and don't go chasing behind men and acting like you're desperate.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying, love, too, but it's important to just, take it slow.
Yes.
It's no, getting married is one of the biggest decisions.
Yes.
That one could make in their life.
I would say.
So it worth taking the time. It worth taking the time. The investment in taking the time to know each other and vet each other is rewarding at the end. And
That's
what we
right.
talked about during that stage, that we understood that we wasn't going to get married without counseling. Thank God for a pastor. I don't want to call their names because,
But they know who they are.
But they know who they are, our senior pastors in our local church. And we love them. And they help us, they really were instrumental in counseling us. We had other counsels prior to that, but the main counseling that we really wanted to make sure that we get, it was the blessings of our senior pastors.
That's right.
And I think we enjoyed, we found out things of each other that our pastor highlighted that we didn't, that we think of. And I remember
That's okay.
Pastor asked, my wife said to Pastor, I want him to love me unconditionally. And Pastor says, unconditionally.
He said, do you think that's possible? And I sat and thought about it. I'm like, oh my God, I guess not, because God is the only one that can love us unconditionally. But how often do we hear that? I've heard it so many times since I've been married, of people saying that their spouse loves them unconditionally.
But we pay tribute to our pastor of the wisdom and the knowledge that he has to write in that moment to say to you that you're setting him up for failure.
Right.
There is no way I could live up to that expectation. That you weren't doing it because that's something that you're here.
It's felt right, it sounded right, but when I actually thought about it after he brought it to my attention and said, do you think this is possible? I realized, well, you know what? It isn't possible. It's not possible for a human being to love you unconditionally because we're flawed.
Absolutely. And our pastor, the day of the wedding, it was such a special wedding. It was such a special day for us. And
our bishop took part
of it. And I saw my wife walk down the aisle.
After I made him wait. And for those of you who know me, I'm super, super punctual, but there are some things that are just out of our control. And that morning, getting ready for the wedding, it was just something was just out of my control, and I wasn't happy about it, but what can you say? So, I arrived late. But I arrived.
But she arrived, and but we had a really good time. And I saw her coming down the aisle, and she was the most beautiful, stunning. She was just, I'm like, wow. I remember smiling and just telling her how beautiful that she looks. Oh my goodness, she was just. I was just ready. I was like, yeah, the time is here now, because remember, guys, we had to abstain. We had to kind of stay away, And again, let me touch on this real quick. When you're in the dating stage, and if that happened to us, when you guys are not in any close proximity, it's different. But when you get to the engagement part of it, that's where everything, because now you're falling in love. Now you want to be close to that person. But because of what the Bible talks about, we had to stay away, and sometimes we come close. We're like, but we had to remember that we just have to abstain from getting ourselves into situations that. So we try to put boundaries, in areas in place. It's very hard. So we're not sitting here telling you guys that it's
That it
easy. It's not
It's tough.
easy. It's a very, very difficult thing. And as we are counseling young people, Love and I, we are explaining to them that don't put yourself in a compromising situation. Try to have people, have friends.
Stay in the public.
Stay in the public, have friends, have people that could call you, that you could talk to while you think. Don't get isolated.
That's
because,
right.
your mind might say that you could deal with that, but the enemy knows how to attack you in those situations.
That's right.
So you just have to be very, 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 very careful. And it was difficult for us, but we tried our hardest. So that day when I saw her coming down the aisle, all the things that was in my mind, I can't, explain them on the airways. But I was just like, wow, the time is here.
Yeah.
And look at my beautiful wife coming down the aisle, and I'm just all the emotions of just loving this woman, and just looking at her and finally understand and know her, and know her heart, and know who she is, and just see that walking down the aisle. It was breathtaking for me.
Yes, and I was looking at him standing on the stage already, and I saw that his face just lit up as he saw me turn the corner coming down the aisle, and he had a big smile on his face, and I couldn't help but to smile too, because I was so happy that the day had finally come that we could start our lives together. And that, the wedding is a ceremony, but that is the start of your life together.
Yeah.
And we just had the best wedding. It was so beautiful. I had a good time. We had a great honeymoon.
Yeah.
In
was
Cancun,
wonderful.
Mexico.
Yeah, Cancun, Mexico.
Just getting to know each other
Oh my
more.
goodness. And we spent 2 weeks, Love.
2 whole weeks.
Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. It was
So-
beautiful. So that's our journey. We have a lot more,
Yeah.
but the time wouldn't allow us to go into depth. But what we hope that you guys get out of this is it's never too late to find love. Do not put an age or restriction on you finding love.
Put it before
Put
God.
it before God. Pray.
And prepare.
And prepare yourself. And we talked about that earlier in probably in our earlier videos about your presentation. If you're seeking and you're praying and you're asking the Lord to find a spouse, present yourself.
That's right.
Do the things that require. Be a spouse.
Yes.
Be that thing that you want to see, that you want. Be that thing that you want to see.
That's right. So, we thank you all for your time, and again, we hope that this was a blessing to you, and we pray for those of you, we may not know you by name, but we pray for our general audience and for those who desire to be married, whether you're a woman or a man. We're praying for you that God would bless you to find true love as He blessed us to find true love older in life.
Yes. We almost look at the torch bearers, but that's a responsibility that the Lord gave us, and we will shout it from the mountaintops.
Yes.
And like I said, we do a lot of counseling, we do a lot of one-on-one sessions, we do a lot of mentoring, and part of our goal is to make sure that we are telling people that love can. And it doesn't matter whether young or old.
Right.
We are just speaking from an older couple, but there are young couples out there that seeking love and desire love and desire marriage, and we are speaking into breathing this into their life, and we're excited for what the Lord is doing in and through us. Please like,
share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. We're on all social media platforms, and please visit our website at JJWhiteMinistries.com. There you will see all of our services,
our courses,
the products that we offer, the merch that we have, so please check us out, and thank you again. May the Lord bless you all. Until next time.
Bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.